Today I'm going to show you how I generated $21,000 in new revenue in just 30 days in the month of June without paid ads. I'm going to show you exactly what I did, how I did it, how to execute it, and I'm going to give you some tools and resources to have so that you have the highest probability of seeing the same results that I did and my clients do. If you don't know who I am, my name is Giuseppe Malone. I was the former regional director of operations for Orange Theory Fitness. I had the opportunity and privilege to oversee 3 to 15 locations at a time, scaling them to 80 to 100K months. I now work with gym owners to see the same success by utilizing the proven strategies that I use to get those results. And I post content like this here on YouTube completely for free to make sure that you can succeed and grow with your business. We need more gym owners like you who are dedicated to their education and growth in their business. We need to change more lives. We need to make people healthier, and I want to be a helping hand in that. I don't offer courses. I do offer a coaching program, but there is a qualifier for it. But I don't really have anything to sell you other than what I'm going to show you here today completely for free. So let's just get into it. Now, how did this come about, right? How did this happen? How did you generate $21,000 in the month of June? That's crazy, right? Well, here's the deal. So this is a couple of years ago, about 2 years ago, during the summertime, we were just struggling just to get new business. And the ads that we were running just were not converting because people were on vacation, they were gone, they're not really interested, right? The new opportunities weren't interested. And so we really needed a cash injection. We needed an opportunity here to just get over the hurdle so that we can reinvest and try to get more cold traffic, more bought in, nurtured, yada, 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 okay? What we realized, or what I realized when I was just looking at our CRM, was that we had so many leads that just did not respond. Like they opted in, they showed some form of interest. Maybe they didn't respond, or we had leads that they took a class and they didn't join, and they gave us an objection that we probably could have handled, and then we just dropped the ball. So I realized that we had so much opportunity here that if we can just talk to people who have shown interest already and maximize and improve on the communication process, then we can get those people brought back into the studio and convert them into a member or a pack holder. And so while this all seems relatively simple, let's just break it down because none of this is new, but the way that I break it down makes it way simpler and it clears it so that you can follow steps. I'm not a very smart dude, and to be honest with you, I rock in chaos, but if I don't have clarity, I'm fucked. And so this gave me so much clarity to understand what steps I needed to take to succeed in achieving this growth that we were looking for and this just revenue drive that we needed. So the first thing that we had to understand was like, who's the low-hanging fruit, right? Well, it's missed guests. It's people who've opted in that we didn't respond to, or they haven't responded back. It could be people on freeze that, we could reach out and see if they're still away from the studio. Maybe they come back in, right? Those who engaged on social media that we found that live in the local area. I mean, just think about where your leads are coming from. But the problem is we think about all these things and then we pull these reports and lists and then we have all this paperwork everywhere and it just felt very overwhelming. So the first step that we did was we organized everything. We organized our leads. We had a CRM at the time that sucked. To be just transparent, it was shit. And the software wasn't right, and it would mess up these things. It was trying to be like this really fancy thing, and again, I'm a big component of simplicity. I don't need it to be more complex just to be complex. Give it to me simple so I can live my life and have fun and do the thing that I want to do. Why do I want a complex life? Point being, simplicity. So we took all those leads off that CRM, and I had built a CRM called the Simple CRM. And we just put everybody there and we organized them from their name, their phone number, if they were a social media interest, their IG handle, their status of, warm, cold, hot, dead, and, contact date and notes, just what happened, what was going on. And what this allowed us to do was to just visually see, okay, the opportunity we had. We had so many people on that list. I think we had about 80 people on that list. Just opportunity to look at and go, these are people who said that they were somewhat interested. We just failed to communicate. And I really believe in the vision concept of really seeing where you want to go and making sure that that vision is always in front of you. What better way to see cash and revenue opportunity than literally looking at the list of people that said that they had some form of interest, but you have to just be a better problem solver for them to have them be a pack holder and a member. And, this is one of the first steps that we take some of our clients on because they don't see the opportunity. So you have to organize your leads. You have to get them organized. You have to see them in front of you, and then you have to execute, okay? But the first step is organizing. Please, 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 please organize your leads. It's going to make your life a lot easier, okay? Once they're organized, now what, right? What's the outreach? What we notice is that a lot of times when we would message or shoot text, because text is the best way to it gets 100% response rate or open rate. Sorry, not response rate. But everyone reads their text, and we noticed that a lot of the texts were just call to actions. They were just hey, like wanted to follow up and see how you're feeling, or we're offering this promo. We just didn't know if you were interested. It was very salesy, and I don't run in the mindset of being salesy. I run in the mindset of aligning people and solving problems. And if there is a problem that we can solve, I want to show how we can solve it and align with our prospect so that they can see that we can solve their problem. If we can't solve the problem, I want to know that too so we can move on, right? But the question is, how do we actually reach out to them? What do we say? What's the thing to say? So there's a framework that I picked up, and it's called the ACA framework, okay? Acknowledge, compliment, ask, okay? This framework, the beauty of this framework is that if you follow it through, it will create a natural conversation. See, the problem with sales, especially in studios, is that most of the people doing sales are people who are inexperienced in sales. It's our sales associates, it's our front desk, membership consultants, whatever, right? So in order for our sales team to actually do the outreach instead of us doing the outreach, we have to give them some sort of a framework. We have to give them some sort of structure so that they don't go off the rails. Trust me, I've been there. I've had staff where I'm like, oh, you know what? Just have a conversation with them. It's going to be completely fine. And they're open to it, but then they realize that it's too open of an opportunity, and then the conversations just go all over the place where we're talking about things that don't even matter. So the ACA framework is really powerful. So it's acknowledge, compliment, ask. So what's an example of that? If there was a lead submission that we never reached out to, I would just say, and the guy's name was Ben, I would say, hey Ben, hope you're doing great. That's the acknowledgement. The compliment would be the action he took. So really appreciate you showing interest at our studio, whatever your studio name is. That's a compliment. And the ask is, how's the fitness journey going? And I want you to literally copy that question as your opener. Okay, an opening question is to get the conversation started. How's your fitness journey going is so powerful because it is not a sales directed question. It is a genuine question that is going to help your prospect just be open with you, because people love talking about themselves, and the more that you can focus on the conversation being about them and not leading towards trying to sell them, the easier it is to uncover what their problems are, what's going on, and the more it will make sense to just explain what you do and see how it aligns based on what they're saying because they're talking about themselves. So acknowledge, compliment, ask, okay? And then you need to have nurturing questions. Nurturing questions are very, very subjective. The four that I would say are super powerful in terms of qualifying are, what are your goals? How did you hear about us? On a scale of 1 to 10, how committed are you to your goals? And then, do you live or work in the area? And then, just to add a bonus to those, you don't want to just ask those questions listing them off. You want to ask them in the ACA framework, but then you also want to get depth for each one, right? So, what are your fitness goals? My fitness goal is to lose weight. Okay, how do I get more depth on that question would be, what's the reason behind that goal? Well, I have something coming up. Right? So we get more clear of their reasoning behind their goal when we ask those questions and we get more depth. But this is how we get people to respond, okay? And that's it, guys. It's that simple. Now, if you just follow this, will you make $21,000? Yes and no. It depends on your sales system, right? So if you haven't watched my video on the sales process that prints money, I think that's the name of the video, you need to watch it because it literally goes through the sales process that we use to close tons of memberships and tons of revenue. And this is an example. And guess what? It wasn't me closing these deals. It was my team, okay? Because I was an operator. I don't have the time to be in the studio. My teams need to do it. And as an owner and as an operator, you shouldn't be doing everything. You should be leading. Your mindset should not be, if I don't do this, then the business isn't going to succeed. Your mindset should be, if I don't lead my team, then the business will never succeed. Because here's the problem that most owners won't accept. And I talk to owners all the time. I don't understand this. They believe that if they leave the studio, everything's going to fall apart. And it's true because they built it that way. I couldn't run 15 locations, 6 locations in multiple states by doing everything. I then become the bottleneck. And so, as an owner and an operator, your mission is to not become the bottleneck. That's why we have something like the 21K League Activation Playbook that you give to your people, and then they execute the playbook, okay? But you need to make sure everything's in line. So if you haven't watched that video about the sales process that prints money, watch it. It goes by my sales by service system, so you can learn it, and then you can tag this on, and I promise you'll get to the 21K, guaranteed, okay? Now, in terms of stuff I want to give you is in the link below, couple things. You're going to get the simple CRM, okay? This is my CRM. It's on Google. You're going to be very impressed in how complicated it is. It's not complicated at all. It's very simple, okay? You can download it for free. Just make a copy. It's yours. Utilize it. Have fun with it. Seriously, organize your leads. And then I'm going to give you a PDF or a Google Doc of the playbook so that you have something to reference to instead of just this video. So you can go by step. It breaks down everything we just talked about. And those are my gifts to you. Now, if you are a gym owner and you're generating at least 30K per month and you have a team and you're looking for more insight to your business to scale faster, I do have a link below to book a call with me, okay? I don't have a team of people or a bunch of coaches. It's me, okay? You're going to work with me. If you qualify and it all makes sense that we're going to work together to get you the results, we'll move on to the next step and see where that goes. If not, no worries. I'll still make sure you get some value because I want to help you. But the people that have gone through our program, the gym owners that have gone through it, have seen dramatic results just in the first 14 days because we just make some small changes like this. One of our clients had 140 memberships in just a day because they're getting ready for the pre-sale. They strategized. They applied the things like the 21K Lead Activation Playbook, and we're able to get conversions right away. So if that is you and you're looking to scale your business, grow more as a leader, as an owner, and really build a business that buys back your time so you're not the bottleneck, feel free to jump on a call with me. We can chat and see where it goes. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video.